Hello everyone, we are from Group 8. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fakihato Soliha. You can call me Vika with student ID number 6661255000056. Here, I will explain the background and definition of fiscal decentralization. Background of fiscal decentralization. Fiscal decentralization means giving local governments more power to manage money and public service. According to Walsh E. Otis, 1999, local governments can provide service more effectively because they understand the needs of their communities better than the central government. In Indonesia, fiscal decentralization started in 2001 through the General Allocation Fund, Specific Allocation Fund, and Revenue Sharing Fund. The goal is to improve public service, transparency, and regional development. However, challenges still exist, such as unequal fiscal capacity between regions and high dependence on central government transfers. Definition of decentralization fiscal. According to Mahfuz 2001, fiscal decentralization is tool to achieve one of the country goals, namely providing better public service and creating a more democratic public decision-making process. According to Saragi 2003, fiscal decentralization can be briefly defined as a process of budget distribution from higher level of government to lower levels to support government functions or tasks and public service in accordance with the delegated authority in various government sectors.
Hello everyone, my name is Trisma Mutiana Putri with name 666-12500-38. Today, I want to explain fiscal decentralization in Indonesia using TKDD as an example. TKDD is a clear example of fiscal decentralization because it involves transfer to regions and village fund. These transfers are part of state expenditures from the central government to regional government, such as provinces and regions or cities, and also to village. The purpose is to find delegate government affairs, meaning responsibilities that are carried out at the regional and village level. The main goals of TKDD are equitable development, reducing fiscal disparities between regions, and improving community welfare. Since different regions in Indonesia have different financial capacities, TKDD helps make development more balanced. TKDD includes several types of funds such as DBH, DIU, DIK, and Village Fund. These funds are distributed efficiently and effectively to support regional development needs. For example, in many regions in Indonesia, these funds are used for infrastructure development, like roads and public facilities, as well as for education and health service. Village funds in particular are used by villages to support basic development needs that directly affect local communities. So, TKDD fiscal decentralization allows regions and villages to manage development funding more independently while still following national development goals. That's all for me, thank you!
Hello everyone, my name is Najib Fajifa with student ID number 666-125-0140. And right now, I would like to explain a study case of fiscal decentralization. We are taking the case from a news report published by CNBC-Indonesia.com on the dangers of regional transfer cut. Regional governments are being strengthened. The economy is threatened. The policy of cutting transfer to regions in the 2026 regional budget plan is considered a threat to the future of fiscal decentralization, which has been established since the reform era. The central government is known to have cut by up to 24.7%. We can see on graph. Based on the graph of transfer to regions and village funds TKDD, it can be seen that from 2014 to 2024, the budget shows a significant upward trend. Increasing from 573.7 trillion Indonesian rupiah in 2014 to more than 820 trillion in 2024. This increase reflects the government's commitment to strengthening regional fiscal capacity. However, in 2026, the budget drops sharply to 615 trillion Indonesian rupiah, far below the levels of previous years. Right? This decline indicates a shift of fiscal policy, budget tightening, or adjustment in central government priorities. This policy was implemented by the central governments due to the frequent, perceived suboptimal implementation of fiscal policies. due to the persistently high level of corruption in the regions and the persistence of fiscal inequality between regions. Finance Minister Perbayayudi Sadewa emphasized the importance of improving fiscal governance at the regional level. He stated that decentralization is not that bad, but its implementation may have given the impression of being less than optimal. Meanwhile, Hairul, an economic observer from Warman University, called the central government decision a step backward in fiscal decentralization. So, as a result, the regional economy is threatened with weakening. Regional development projects such as road, bridge, health service, education, and other development could also be delayed, impacting public service and facilities. Therefore, strong oversight of fund use, increased regional revenue (PAD), and social impact evaluation are needed before policy implementation. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Aris Natyar, and I'm here. I'm gonna explain to you guys on this slide about several arguments or analysis about the regional transfers from our group discussion. So the first one is regional transfer at their lowest level in the last 10 years, limiting regional development capacity. The second one is cuts to the General Allocation Fund and Special Allocation Fund risk delaying infrastructure and public service projects. And point number 3, sharp reductions in regional transfers may weaken fiscal decentralization and disrupt regional governance. First, the allocation of regional transfers and village funds has reached its lowest level in the last 10 years. With the proposed budget of only 600 trillion, many regions may face serious financial pressure. This situation can limit their ability to carry out development programs. Second, economist Kumorotomo argues that reducing regional transfers poses serious risks to regional development and public services. Cuts to the General Allocation Fund and the Special Allocation Fund may force regions to stop or delay important infrastructure projects, such as roads, bridges, and telecommunication facilities. And third, several regional leaders and organizations, including the Association of Indonesian Provincial Governance and the Governor of Jambi, have stated that sharp reductions in regional transfers could weaken fiscal decentralization. They warn that this policy may disrupt regional governance and reduce the autonomy of local governance. Okay, the first argument is the budget cuts aim to promote regional fiscal independence by improving efficiency, transparency, and fiscal performance. First, the cuts are intended to encourage regional governments to become more financially independent by improving fiscal discipline, transparency, and the effectiveness of public spending. Regions are also expected to strengthen their local revenue capacity. The second argument is, according to the Minister of Home Affairs, the reallocation of regional transfers is intended to strengthen fiscal discipline and ensure budgets focus on programs that directly benefit the public. According to the Minister of Home Affairs, Tito Karnavian, these cuts are not made randomly. The reallocation of the regional transfer is intended to improve fiscal discipline at the regional level. Regional governments are expected to manage their budgets more carefully and focus on priority programs that give direct and real benefits to the community, rather than spending on less urgent activities.
Hello everyone! Now I would like to briefly explain the pros and cons of fiscal decentralization based on BAL 2008. First of all, pros of fiscal decentralization. There are two main advantages of fiscal decentralization. Number one, economic efficiency because local government usually understand local condition and needs better. So public spending can be more effective. And number two, opportunities to increase tax revenue from regional tax, as regions are encouraged to develop and manage their own source of revenue. However, fiscal decentralization also has several disadvantages. Number one, fiscal disparities between regions may widen, especially between resource rich and resource poor regions. Number 2, limited administrative and institutional capacity in some regions can cause inefficient fund management. Number 3, weak supervision and accountability, which may lead to misuse or inefficiency in public spending. And the last, high dependence on central governance transfer, reducing incentive for regions to increase local revenue. That's from me. Thank you.
To conclude, fiscal decentralization gives local governments more authority to improve public services and regional development. On the one hand, reducing regional transfers can encourage efficiency, independence, and better financial management. On the other hand, if the cuts are too large, they may slow down development and widen inequality between regions. Therefore, Indonesia needs a balanced approach. The central government should still provide sufficient support, while regional governments must take greater responsibility for managing their finance wisely.